Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, I want to have the discussion of how close are we to curing cancer. And I want to bring this up because I think it's kind of an important thing to really have this realization that it is a touchy subject with most of us survivors, especially because we went through it. We have kind of beaten the odds and we have been able to say, all right, we're here. Why are we still having this fight? Why is this battle still going on? You know, in 1971, President Nixon declared the National Cancer Act, and that was essentially the war on cancer. And what really has ended up happening is all this money has gone to research, and I mean billions and billions and billions of dollars have gone to research to try to figure out and understand how cancer works and the biology to cancer and kind of everything in between. But what has really ended up happening is a lot of this money is just, it might be going to research, it might be going to the understanding and trying to figure out new ways and new therapies to help deal with the side effects of cancer and treatment. But it's not dealing with the true issue, I believe, of curing cancer. And I believe this because there's too many things going on in the real world that makes me really wonder how much of a cure is really wanted out there from a lot of people that are in charge of medical stuff. Now I'm going out on a limb here because, you know, this is I'm going to talk about my opinion here because the more I read about this, the more I learn, the more it just makes me really frustrated and sad and angry that it has become more important to keep people sick and to have them sick because there's just a lot of money in it. Okay, I said it there. Yeah, it feels good, the weight feels lifted, but it's a real serious thing because if you look at our social environment, our economies, and you see everything that goes on from all the nutrition that is presented to us, to the waters that we drink, to everything that goes on within our society, you kind of have to wonder why a cure for cancer hasn't happened sooner. You know, let's take municipal water treatment, for example. A huge majority of them add fluoride to your water. Fluoride isn't a known carcinogen, and you know, this is a poisoning that is happening on a huge broad scale by municipalities. The municipality that I live in here in Breckenridge adds fluoride to their water system, and I've actually seen the implementation in the water plants, and it's hard for me to grasp. I don't understand. I do understand because there's an association that has really lobbied to have this added to our water systems, and it's really frustrating to know this. Let's take nutrition for example. You know, from seed to mouth, there's this entire bit of genetically modified organisms. You know, all the seeds are genetically modified. That's the only thing that you can patent is genetically modified items. Or you can't patent single, you know, plant based stuff unless you change it a little bit and then you get the genetic code and you can patent that. There's a huge issue there. You know, take Monsanto is the biggest seed bank in the entire world, and everything they have has been genetically modified, and everything that you plant and that you farm with has been genetically modified. It's really hard to find ungenetically modified organisms to plant as farmers and as consumers to get also. I get why genetically modified plants happen and some theories behind it. One, to deal with drought and to help get greater yields out of the crop. And that all makes sense, right? There are just some more dubious things that I feel are really becoming more controlling. And a lot of the lawsuits that go on because of it are proof of that. You know, those are two good examples of seeing what's going on just in my world that I see in the reading that I do and just observing. The other thing we can do is look at all the fast food that we get. We get such nutritionally void food from all the fast foods that is presented to us that we can choose from. you know, even our stores, there's a lot of food in there that is not good, all the prepackaged stuff. And I'd even say a lot of the fresher produce is void of nutritional value too, but that's the best that we get. You know, we're only as good as the stuff that we can get, and it's really hard, especially for like where I live. I live in the mountains in the middle of Colorado, and trying to get good fresh produce is really, really difficult. But nonetheless, you know, see, these are all these signs just kind of point to the proof that there is, I don't want to call it a conspiracy, because there's a lot of history that you can follow, and that is very, very well documented, that kind of shows that it's more important to keep people sick and to have to trust the medical industry as a whole in order to have all your treatments done by, and there's no other way around it. There's the people over at Truth About Cancer have a great documentary they just released about kind of the history of the medical industry and how it's grown to this point. And this is all research that you can do yourself, and I've actually done a little bit myself, including some of the documentaries that they have published. And it is amazing to see just how much monopolizing of the medical industry has been done. And it is so frustrating knowing this now. You know, I wish I knew a lot of this stuff beforehand, because there are alternatives out there, and there are alternatives that you may not be able to get here in the States because it is so controlled and regulated. So there are a lot of other ways to be able to face this cancer stuff, but I think the biggest one all around, and it sits right under our noses, is being preventative in our approach to not getting cancer. And that really goes to our entire lifestyle of not getting disease. Now, it's not 100% foolproof that it'll work, because, you know, we have a lot of cards stacked against us. But you know what? If we are aware of what it is that we're doing, the choices that we make, and what we are putting into our bodies, it really makes a massive difference into the longevity that we can live without having to go through cancer. Prevention is really the thing for me, because after going through lymphoma, after going through all the treatments and the stem cell transplant, and then having time to really take it all in and see and feel what it was that I just went through, was incredibly life-changing. And it made a lot of sense for me to really change every single aspect of my life. And that's not just including, you know, physical activity, or, you know, my work habits, my lifestyle, you know, even alcohol consumption and any sort of consumption, period. Didn't matter. You know, I've never been a drug user, so that's never really been a big one. I did smoke a lot of marijuana through my treatment, because it really helped with the nausea and it helped me eat, and that was a huge thing for me. But I don't take any meds now. Maybe a little naproxen sodium if I'm really just sore for some reason, but I don't really take any sort of meds. I don't take any sort of drugs at all. And I don't really drink a lot either. I do enjoy occasional beer here and there, but I don't go that route anymore. You know, I try to get as much exercise as I can. I try to keep my stress levels as low as I can. You know, I'm not perfect, because I don't have a perfect world to live in. So I'm doing the best that I can with the time that I have and the circumstances that are around me. And that is the best I can do. And that's what I'm really working on every single day of my life. I've been spending a little bit of time now going back into some counseling, just to help me with some communication skills too. Because it's really important that I work on my head at work, you know, in the psychology of the things that bother me. And, you know, my relationships in my life are incredibly important, and I want to make sure that I can do those better. So that's something else that I'm really working on. And by choosing to do these things and being aware of them, and it's taken a long time, okay, to really get to this point, but I'm aware that there are times where I need help, and there are times that I am just going to kind of muck through it and get through it and do the best that I can, and make sure that those choices are the best that I have in front of me. Because of going through cancer, I have a higher rate of having a second cancer in my life at some time. because of the amount of chemotherapy and just the pure amount of poison that I put through my body. And I am learning more and more about alternatives for me to go through as a survivor now, because I kind of need to prepare for myself for what is a very possible inevitability for myself to go through. So I'm just thinking about these things. I'm thinking about the future. I'm making choices that are the best that I can make for myself right now, and I'm doing the best that I can health-wise for me also. So, and it's rolling over. It's becoming more prevalent in my family's life also, because they see me doing it. I'm kind of the leader in the leadership role with them, and they are doing the best they can to kind of follow suit. It's not easy for them, but they see that it's really important, and it's important for them too. I believe at this point that a cure for cancer isn't going to happen. There are too many cards stacked against us, and there are too many variables with cancer, and too many cancers that are just so all over the place. And there's also too many people that are not willing to be open to the lifestyle changes that need to happen too. And you keep everyone in a really big, city centers and stuff like that, and it's just going to continue to happen. But for myself and people that I know, we do the best that we can to inform everyone else out there. So yeah, hit me in the comment section below and let me know if you have any questions that you think are important. Just want to say I love you guys. I appreciate your time and energy into watching the videos, and give me a thumbs up and a like if you would, and please share the video, because let's continue trying to help people out, and let's try to open up some minds and let them know that there is a bigger world out there that I think once we know and once we learn about, cancer can become kind of a wayside thing for us. And it may not happen for everyone, but it can happen to a lot. It can happen for a lot of us that are aware of what it's going to take. So awesome. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.